everyone, it's Annette Green here. I've got my planner, I'm ready to go. It is week 9 of 2024 and every week I am doing something crafty. Last year I did a planner page every week. This year I'm doing different projects every week, and at the end of each month or toward the beginning of the new month I will do a planner page and walk through it with you. So that's what we're going to do today. I left off last time in week 8. And if you are interested, if you're really a planner person and you really miss my weekly videos on making planner pages, I do have a Facebook group that we started this year. It's called Weekly Memory Keeping with Annette, and I will link it below. And if you want to join, just request and I'll approve you. People are in there sharing inspiration. They're sharing their pages. We're all encouraging each other to keep up, and it's a wonderful, encouraging, inspirational place. Also, I should mention, if you're new especially, that I have in my Etsy shop directions on how to make these page dividers. You do need graphic 45 paper. The listing will tell you everything that you need, but I do have a video link with that homework from Etsy that will take you through the assembly of all these pretty divider pages for each month. So as you can see, here I am in April. Here I am in March. And so the back side of my March page is where I'm going to be working today. And then, of course, more March pages will come before we get to the April page. But they're all in here just waiting and ready. So here we go. So I'm having this idea. I've been looking at my photos. I was at a crafting retreat house over the weekend from Thursday to Sunday. And this is a wonderful place called Birchtree Craft Retreat. And I will link their website below so you can check it out. A wonderful farm setting, retreat house, full kitchen, bathrooms, bedrooms, full store full of supplies for crafting and scrapbooking, living space with a TV. I mean, it's just beautiful. And my daughter Jamie and I went there because Jamie is into volunteering on farms right now, and she remembered that I know Christine Slack, who owns the Birchtree Craft Retreat, and we just came up with this idea, like, okay, I'll come visit you, pick me up at the airport in Chicago, and we'll go on up to Wisconsin. I will craft and you can farm. So that's what we did. So that's what this page is going to be about today. So what I did is I went to my stash. I don't want to be too themey, too cutesy, but I just thought of Graphic 45's old, wonderful French country collection, which is one of my all-time favorites, always has been. Grabbed an 8x8 pad. I also have a few pieces from the 12x12 that I might use. I don't really know yet. This was just calling to me, this blue. And I am going to use some cut aparts from this particular little page. As you can see, I've already cut them away, but this little red and ivory check is going to be nice for something maybe. And then also this was from the 12x12, just a scrap laying in my bin. It has this great like chicken wire kind of design on the back, and the black is very pretty also. So I don't know yet. I got that ready. Also, because Jamie was feeding chickens and there was a rooster on the property, I cut this strip away from the paper of 8x8. I cut out a little postage stamp from that page and a little, don't know if these are flowers, berries. They kind of look like some kind of berry, but I just liked them, so I cut that out. I went ahead and did my journaling already, which is unusual for me, but I went ahead and did it. I liked this little cut apart piece because it had journaling built in, and then, the green bean look over here, the haricot. So got that ready. And I'm going to do something with that, like a pocket perhaps. And then I grabbed this, what do they call this? The signature page for the collection in the 8x8. I might cut out some sunflowers. I have a few more stamps here. We'll see what we have room for. Maybe it's just going to be a piece of the border. I don't know. But that's how I get started. Just to keep the background fairly neutral, I think instead of this bright kind of reddish color, this is the back of this paper from the Patterns and Solids of this collection. Abundant Life, I believe it's called. I want to maybe use this. This seems more neutral. I don't want to cover it up entirely though, so I'm probably going to come in about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, which is almost what I have here, except I need to trim it here. So to fit the page and to not get into the area where the holes are, and to come in 1/4 of an inch, that's going to be, looks like about 3 7/8 over here. and then 7 7/8. So I will cut this 3 7/8, 7 7/8. 3 7/8 is just shy of 4, and 7 7/8 is just shy of 8. Not the littlest tick, but the next one down. Okay, so that's my base, and this is great because I mentioned that pocket idea for my journaling, just to give me some more room on my page. Now I can put a slit under there or something so that this can go between. We have a layer here. Okay, so we'll pull that in and out. That's the idea. Well, I have this scrap here. I see this nice solid black side with some script, and I've got my number 9 for the week number. So I think I'm just going to call it right now that that's going to be what color my 9's going to be. So I'll die cut that real quick. Okay, and that looks great, but I never throw this away. Where'd the little bit go? The little bit that goes inside the 9 is somewhere here. Anyway, I'll find it, but I do save those just in case I decide to use the negative or part of it. Oh, here it is right here. Here's my little inside piece. So I'll save that too, just in case. All right, and then to make my little pocket, yes, I could just take that paper and put it on here and leave an opening where that paper, you know, falls short of that 1/4 inch. But I am going to do a little tricky slot, which I have taped this sneak peek die to the page. In a couple of weeks, I'll be able to tell you what that is. Right now, I cannot. So I think that's going to be a fun little slot for my pocket for my journaling to go in and out of. And I know that I'm going to put that little border down here, so I'm not worried about how it goes off the page, but we're going to do a little something with that. I think that'll be fun. I'll get that adhered in just a moment, but I want to make sure I have room over here first for some reinforcements on the holes. And so I am going to the reinforcement pack number 2 with Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I love these little doily kind of looking ones, and I'm going to use a little bit more of that black. This fits on here perfect to get what I need. So I'll cut those out. Now you can put, of course, double-sided adhesive behind this paper first, but I don't find it too difficult to work with like this. So I'm just going to cut them out and put some glue on the back. I'm inking all my edges with walnut stain, just something brown, nice and dark brown. And once I get these on here, then I know exactly how much room I have for this piece. If you didn't know it already, Planner Essentials 37, the stitched letters and numbers, is the one that I use all the time for my weekly numbers. Get my last reinforcement glue down here, just using some liquid glue and my lovely fine pointed tweezers from Elizabeth Craft Designs, which I love and use all the time. I've inked the edges of this. It's ready to go. I just want to see, is this going to go over the hole? And it is not. It's going to work just fine. So before I get this down, I do have to make sure, am I going to use this in just one layer like this? I feel like I want to put it on cardstock to make it just a little more sturdy. And I'm also going to reinforce this area here so that it is nice and stiff and nothing gets hung up on here. And I'll show you what that means in a minute. But I am going to put, I think, just some black cardstock on the back of here. Okay, I was just thinking about ribbon. I don't think I'm going to use that whole reinforcer. I think I'm just going to sandwich some ribbon. And so I just have to decide. I've got this, and of course, you know, gingham. That's perfect for the farm. So I've got this sort of, it's more ivory and red. So that's a lot of red on the page. But then I have the same in green. I have just a little bit of this, and I think that's what I'd rather use, just because the green beans over here. So I'm just going to cut a small piece, tuck all this away, and I think I want to just glue it between the black cardstock, just like a little loopy-doop, maybe, just a little bit sticking out, just something to grab a hold of to get it out of there. I didn't even need that much ribbon, but I will glue that with some Fabri-Tac over here. My bottle's almost empty, so it's going to have to take a minute to run down. This is my go-to glue for any kind of fabric or ribbon adhering. So first I will glue, I will glue these tails together like so. I could trim it, make it a little shorter, but and then I will put it like in the center, coming across here. Same glue, just a little tiny bit to sticking out that I can grab a hold of. And then I'll put a little more of that fabric glue on top of the ribbon, just to make sure. And I don't have to use that as my main glue for the paper. Now I can switch back to art glitter glue or tape runner, something like that. Okay, and the black cardstock is just a teeny tiny hair bigger, which I like. Puts a little bit of a frame around everything. You're so far away. Come closer. There we go. So I'll give that a minute to set and dry. But now it's quite sturdy, and once we reinforce this, that'll work great. I've got my little idea in place here. I think I want this to tuck in right about even with the edge of that. So keeping that in mind, got my sneaky peek die here. I did cut this out of that blue right here. You could, if you wanted this to stay, you know, the same, you could put this piece that you cut away back on here and it would sort of blend right in. You know, I wouldn't ink the edges or anything. I would just stick it on there like that, and that would sort of camouflage it. But for me, I'm feeling like, oh, I just kind of want to draw the eye to that little pocket so that if somebody is looking at this in the future, they know like, oh, there's something happening here, because that's a color. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'll snip it right about there, and then I think that's where it starts. Yeah, right about there. Okay. And I will get this down, but I will ink the edges, of course. A little bit of, grab my tweezers, a little bit of glue. When this release is officially out and announced, then if you're watching this video after that date, which should be March the 25th, of 2024, I will put links. I will put links to the products. For the first week after the release, it's available in scrapbook stores, and then it's available to order on the Elizabeth Craft Designs website. And I use Shopify links, so that earns you a little bit of a discount, a 10% discount when you use my codes. So all right, so the next step here, like I said, I want this to go all the way in here. And knowing that, I'm going to pick this up, kind of keep that held in place. You could clip it with a paper clip. I'm just going to go for it, eyeball it here, straighten this out. Just get a rough idea, and then I would flip it over, kind of holding it in place. And then this way I know like how far to go. So you could use a pencil or a pen and kind of mark it out, because you're going to have to put adhesive beyond these points to stop your tag from going in too far. So now I know when I pull this out, adhesive is going to go all here, here, and above. Okay, I have my photos printed out, but before I could even come to these sizes, here's something that might be helpful. I just grabbed some scrap cardstock and tried to figure out how many photos did I need, how many could I fit, what size could they potentially be, and then I cut these just scraps from that cardstock and laid them in place just to kind of get the layout going without being influenced by the photos at all. And so now I know I can go into Photoshop Elements, which is what I use, and I print on advanced color photo paper HP on my home printer, which is an inkjet Pixma. Let me grab my little cheat sheet here. my Canon Pixma TR8620, just a good old standard home printer. That way I can go into Photoshop Elements and size them all to these sizes I've determined and print them out onto one sheet and just cut these out. I noticed earlier that I did have this in place. I don't have it glued down yet, but this is kind of what I wanted to have happen here in this open space between my hole reinforcements. So that's my thought. And now that I know the sizes of my photos, I did cut them out to the size and then cut photo mats just a little bit bigger out of that colored, that blue paper for some of these. So here's the donkeys, and that was Jamie with the chickens. And this will probably, let's see, we don't want to cover up the little donkey's face, so we may have to come on top, but we don't want to cover up too many chickens. Okay, we see donkey faces still, that's good. We'll work this out in a minute, but then we have Jamie and I here with our Piggly Wiggly shirts and the group that took my little class. And there's a little fresh eggs from the chickens. Every morning we had all kinds of different egg dishes every morning, fresh out of the chicken butt. It's great. Okay, so loose plan. I'm going to see how I like this. Take a few minutes. This is black paper. This was that other side that I've been using for the hole reinforcements and the number 9. I didn't ink the edges. I can see that now, but it's mostly black. I didn't want all of the photo mats to be blue, so just for a little bit of difference. There's a lot of blue in these photos, so I felt like a blue photo mat might be a little too much. See how they both have sort of a heavy blue cast, so that kind of helps that. So now I have just enough room without overcrowding it too much to consider like fussy cutting a few sunflowers and working them in so it doesn't look like too much, too heavy. Okay, and I'm going to get close here to show you that when I fussy cut out these little sunflowers, here is the best method I have found, and that is to just pick one side of each petal to cut. And I come in on an angle following the petal, and I'll do that going all the way around. Now when I get all the way around, then I can easily come back the other direction. Let's get rid of this first. And I can just easily snip, 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 and all those pieces fall away on my table. Nice and neat. Okay, here we go. Kind of got it planned out. Of course, nothing is glued down, but there's a sunflower there, there, and there, and I think that's enough for the page. I don't need any more like postage or anything like that, so I just need to start adhering these down. Looking down here, and I'm just trying to decide, do I want that one in the front for any reason? I don't think so. No. So I'm going to get all this down, and I will be back, and we will call it done. Okay, and I believe I am done. I'm happy with it. Hope you are too. Let's test out our little side loading pocket here. Very cute, nice and sturdy, reinforced, really helps that little wavy edge. And it fits in there just like I wanted it to. So let's get it into my planner. There's March, and there's my first week of March, week 9. Okay, that's it everybody. I hope you liked it. I had a great time making pages with you, a page with you, and I will see you next week in the next crafty video. Not sure what it's going to be, but stay tuned.